Hi, everyone. Welcome to my third live stream broadcast. This is June Bayha. I'm CEO of Bayha Group, and we are having a conversation today with Arthur Joseph. Hi, Arthur.
Hi, June.
So, Arthur is a very dear friend, my mentor, my communication strategist. And Arthur and I have known each other for probably close to 10 years. It all started when I was giving a presentation for a client. And I had a career coach at the time who pulled me aside and said, I need you to work with somebody who can help you with your public speaking. And so she rounded up different people who are people that she would recommend. And so Arthur's name came up. And at the time, I brought two other colleagues and we joined Vocal Awareness. So Arthur is doing those subtle coaching with me right now. And so what was really cool is about a year ago, we actually had Arthur come to Downey High School and work with some young people. So, hi Arthur. So tell me, what was it like when we had when you came out to Downey to do vocal awareness with a group of high school students?
It was such a moving experience. I've been teaching vocal awareness for over 55 years, and it is my life's work. And I can count on one hand the number of experiences that were as deeply moving and meaningful as this one was. And I don't say that because you're in the room and I'm just being a cheerleader. June knows that I'm more of a troll than a cheerleader, sort of sit under the rock and eat your young kind of person. But I share it this way because these young people stepped up like I've rarely seen people step up. Mature adults, sophisticated business leaders, wherever I am in the world, have rarely, in a first encounter, done what these young people did. They trusted me. They made a commitment to themselves. They followed my body language and allowed a conscious, loving breath. They saw the edge and arc of sound and let the voice be energized. To a person, they did the homework impeccably so that when we came together the next time, using a sports metaphor, we could move the chains. It is football season. And it moved me. And you can feel it in the way I'm communicating with you now. And it brings to mind, I just wrote a blog this morning as one of my Pro Football Hall of Fame clients whose Hall of Fame speech I wrote 3 years ago for and with him, LaDainian Tomlinson, a portion of the speech became the first social justice PSA, public service announcement for the National Football League this past week, and aired on every game multiple times, where it spoke about America's team. And I shared in this blog that it's not just because LaDainian is a sports celebrity, or that I only work with sports celebrities or great performers, but people from all walks of life. And what is so extraordinary about the work that you do, June? Your work is transformative. You're giving these young people something that will stand them in good stead for their entire lives. They begin to learn how to be themselves, not just present. They learned how to communicate, how to tell their story, not just be some generic talking head, which will then help them as they apply for college, apply for jobs. They understand the beginnings of, they begin to understand the importance of pitch and pace. And when I say, June, how very nice it is to have me on your show today, thank you, versus, June, how very nice it is to be on your show today, thank you. First one, too fast, too high. We don't get that. We just get, he's bogus. We don't trust him. The second one, we don't know that Arthur breathes, slow down, all we get is more genuine. So just circling back on LaDainian for a moment, it's not just the words that I crafted, it's the way this wonderful man delivered them that 3 years later has resonance, that it is now being heard by tens of millions of people around the country and frankly around the globe. And so the last thing I'll say in this moment is not just what we say, it's how we say it. It's not just the message, it's the messenger. And that's what compels me about the work you do. You allow me to teach with you. You bring other people into your organization to help young people claim themselves. What? My goodness. You had that teacher in your junior year of high school who frankly helped you change your life because of how she taught you and what she helped you discover. You just did that for these young people at Downey, and another 180 plus of interns over the summer. My goodness, what a gift.
It was pretty amazing that we had Arthur come to Downey High in person. That was, I believe, close to a year ago. And then over the summer, as Arthur mentioned, we had 180 interns virtually. And Arthur came 3 times, came being that he was on Zoom and worked with 180 interns on communication mastery. And so I don't know if we have any of our interns watching right now, but if anyone is out there in the live stream audience, if you could just send a chat of where you're watching from. So we are live on Facebook, my personal and Bayha Group account. We're live on Twitter as well as YouTube. So yeah, there's.
Say something. I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted to add something to what you just said.
Go ahead.
So the other element that is really so meaningful, and then what reminded me of a couple of young people I worked with from your internship program in virtual. When you give me your voice, you give me who you are. And it's one thing to work with me in a classroom. I can interact differently. But in virtual, there is this natural distance and sort of disembodied old man sitting out here in Encino, California, telling me stuff. But each of these young people really trusted this one young person with learning disability, whom I didn't even know. All the hand clapping and high fives he got from his peers after he painstakingly worked on those few details and then emerged in this how powerful was that?
It was amazing. And so we did put together a short video for when Arthur came in person to Downey, which I have a colleague who will put that on the chat so you all can check it out. And so we actually have some testimonials of what these students got from working with Arthur. And so it was definitely a dream of mine to be able to share vocal awareness with young people because voice is power. It's something that really resonated for me. It's certainly something that I wouldn't have seen myself being able to do something like this live stream even a year ago. And so it was really powerful to be able to work with Arthur all these years, to have a mentor who saw something in me sometimes more quicker than I saw it in myself. And so it's been amazing to work with Arthur, to have him be able to also connect with young people. So it's something that I wanted to share with all of you. And so I'm super excited to have. So yeah, I mean, if you want to share a little bit from your perspective, Arthur.
May I? When you give me your voice, you give me who you are. That relationship is sacrosanct. It's very personal. Sociologists tell us, as you've heard me say, the greatest fear in society is public speaking. Now that's bogus, but that's this empty bill of goods we've been fed for generations. The greatest fear, however, are 2 fears: fear of abandonment and ownership of our power. Claiming ourselves being ourselves without worrying about what other people might think when we are. This journey is not for the faint of heart. And so nothing is more intimate than voice. The root of the word intimate means intrinsic or essential. It's intrinsic to be who we are, essential that we must be who we are. In our years together, in our one-on-ones, just the workshops, you truly let me teach with a capital D, with a capital T. You give me all of you. And we know how emotional that experience has been. But without your willingness to take that level of journey, you wouldn't be sitting here today. And we're in a time in our society that is the most dangerous since World War II. You young people who watch and participate have no knowledge of any of this. But this is a dangerous time. And we see how, at a political level, what's happening not just in our country, but with dictators around the world who are usurping power. And so in vocal awareness, I want us to stand up and be in the sovereignty of who we are. And nobody can take our power from us, but we can hand it to them. So I want people to step back and observe even how our political leaders speak to us. Do they speak to us in a way that we can trust them or not? Because I need us to start paying attention. And all the young people out there who are 18 and older, vote, please, vote.
Please.
And
Definitely.
so, though you're all just meeting me for the first time, and some of you know June, but June is a role model for what is possible. The root of the word courage means heart. This is June. And so, obviously June knows I don't come up for air and I can go on for days. But June, any thoughts or sharings? Or is anybody out there raising their hand?
I'm not sure. However, they could definitely watch on replay. And so for me, the journey has been really powerful, and definitely just thinking back on the sessions that we had probably close to 10 years ago, where I worked for another company at the time, and the idea of feeling really comfortable in who I am. So when Arthur talked about the two big fears, the one that resonated for me was the fear of stepping into my own power and what that really meant. So every day I feel like, oh, wow, this is what this feels like. This is what this means. And so in the journey of creating Bayha Group and having the interns over the summer, I felt like it really ignited something in me in a way that I felt, because Arthur for a little while has been asking me, well, what do I want to do? What kind of leader do I want to be? And so it's really what's happening right now in our current situation with being at home and having a lot of young people who are really eager and wanting to know what is the quote unquote real world like, and to be able to provide opportunities to showcase what kind of skills, what kind of experiences will help them on their journey. It's been very fulfilling to be able to offer some of that. And so I definitely, we had some pieces that we asked the young people to do that's part of vocal awareness. We asked them to create persona statements. We asked them to actually say their persona statement.
Explain to them what a persona statement is.
So a persona statement is, how do I want to be known? So there's two parts to it. First, it's how do I currently perceive others? How do I currently believe others perceive me? And then the next piece is, how do I want to be known? And so we actually asked them to draw pictures, to do something that's visual, and then to put it into sentences. So how am I currently perceived, and how would I like to be known? And so we have that from the 180 interns. And then at the same time, we asked them to record it and then put it on a website so that Arthur could look at it. And we asked if we could share some of them when we had our session with him. And so there was some pretty powerful moments. We had some interns who did share publicly and then actually, sent a thank you to Arthur afterwards about what that meant.
And
so
the
yes.
sidebar to what you're saying here is in this persona exercise, the root of the word persona literally means through the sound. One's identity is conveyed through the sound of a voice and an opinion created instantaneously. The other piece of this is that when you create this persona statement and you address these questions, it awakens us to the understanding that we actually have a choice. I can choose how I want to be known. This is me, not the way I think you want me to be. This is how I claim myself. And when those young people did that, when your students, your interns did this exercise, the original ones in Downey and then in the summer, you saw how transformative this knowledge was. Then interns in the summer program, a few of them, we also worked on their elevator pitches. Mm-hmm. So then they turned that persona into, okay, this is how I communicate when I go out for a job, and how do I convey me in that 15 seconds or whatever it might be. And so it had real immediate practical application, because it's not just because speech is habit, we just talk. But in our work, in the work that you are teaching these young people, they're learning far more strategic ways to communicate. And the truth is that voice is power, as you said at the top of this conversation.
It is. And it was great feedback, because after each session with Arthur, we asked for what did the interns feel about the experience? What did they get out of it? And so time and again, we saw that in what they wrote, they said, that there were certain subtleties about breathing, about slowing down, and just being aware of what they were saying that they really resonated with. And so I'm super excited to bring Arthur back in our future internships, and I want to be mindful of time. So I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Arthur, for being who you are. And I'm so grateful for all of our times together. And I'm so excited for us to do more work with young people together.
June, I wish I could remember verbatim what you just said, because I turn around and say the same to you. It is a privilege, June, and you know that. People come to know this extraordinary woman. She is a life changer. Just amazing. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you, Arthur. So just quickly, we have our next intern spotlight for our next live stream. So we have Angela joining us next week on September 23rd at 1 p.m. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye, Arthur. Thank you.
Bye.